It's time to feel what you've been bottling up. Life in rural America isn't easy. The long hours, the constant pressures, the demands of the land, livestock, and family, it all takes a toll. We're tough and we've got grit, but somewhere along the way, toughness started meaning bottling up emotions and powering through. But here's the truth. That strategy, it's not working and it's poisoning us. Maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't, but the numbers don't lie. We're breaking down and it's showing up in our bodies, our relationships, and in the rising suicide rates in agriculture. You don't have to carry any of it alone. There's another way. If you're ready to stop being weighed down and start moving forward, my one-on-one good movement guidance is now open. Visit the link in the show notes to learn more and see if one-on-one guidance could be for you.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. I am recording this episode the day after episode 25, The Thick Skin Myth and How We View Emotions in Rural America came out. And I got to be honest with you, I was equal parts excited and nervous about that episode coming out because I feel so called to talk about what we talked about in that episode. And I feel so passionate about the subject and how we handle emotions in rural America. But I was nervous because I've been in the online space long enough to know that when we talk about things like that and we push back against the status quo, we often get pushback back. And I was afraid about the pushback. But honestly, the feedback that I've gotten from the episode in the last 24 hours has been so encouraging. And because of some of that feedback, we're going to talk about emotions again today. In episode 25, I said that we've been led to believe that being strong means showing no emotion. I also said that the norm in rural America and how we approach emotions is not the way things are meant to be. But what I didn't talk about was what emotions even are or what their purpose is. So that's what we're going to get into today. Emotions are complex psychological states that involve subjective experience, a situation or event that you're in or we're in, a physiological response, so what you feel in your body, and behavioral response, or the actions you take. The limbic system is the center of emotions, social behavior, and attachments in our brains. A lot of emphasis gets put on thinking and logic in our society, but the truth is, the way our brains are set up, without a well-developed limbic system and strong, healthy attachments, logic will always be lacking. So what I'm saying here is that emotions matter. They matter a lot. And so to dismiss them, it's not working. It's not the way our brains are designed or set up. It doesn't work to dismiss emotions because without emotions, we can't have logical, productive thought. Like we use emotions for that. So the purpose of emotions is to communicate things to us. Emotions represent needs, and all emotions are valid. Now, you might have heard the phrase, feelings are not facts. And that's true. There is subjectivity to feelings and emotions, but that does not negate the validity or what's trying to be communicated in emotions. So, feelings may not be fact, but they are always worth exploring and getting curious surrounding what you're feeling or what emotions are coming up for you. Here are a few examples of some emotions, what they communicate, and what needs they represent. I'm going to start off with the big one, anger. I think anger is sometimes misunderstood, and the behavioral response we see is not actually anger, it's rage because we haven't actually addressed our anger, acknowledged it, processed it, and so it just boils over in the form of rage. But what anger communicates is that a boundary has been breached, there is an injustice, or we don't feel safe. The needs are boundaries, justice, or safety. Fear communicates danger, and the need is safety. Sadness communicates a loss, and the need is help or comfort. Shame communicates to us that, I'm using air quotes here, there's something wrong with me. The need is acceptance and approval. Now, the negative or what we perceive as negative emotions are not the only ones that communicate things to us. Feel good emotions communicate things and represent needs as well. For example, joy communicates this is good. The need is rest in the goodness and continued goodness. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Emotions are not weak, but not acknowledging them does make us weak, both physically and logically, as it were. So in episode 25, I talked about or shared an exercise to help actually process emotions on short time in lieu of shoving them down. And in addition to that exercise, we've also been using a feelings wheel in our house. There are a couple of us in this family who have a hard time articulating our feelings, and the feelings wheel has really helped with that. One of those people is me, because I have grown accustomed to numbing feelings, so accustomed that I don't even know what I'm feeling a lot of the time. So the feelings wheel has come in very handy there. There are many variations of the feelings wheel, but the basic idea is that the core emotions are in the center. And as you move out from the center of the circle, the feelings wheel implies circle. And I didn't specify that, but I thought it was implied. But here I'm going to be clear and direct. The feelings wheel is a circle. And in the center are the core emotions. And as you move out from the center of the circle, there are variations and or less intense versions of those emotions towards the outside of the circle. The one that we use has 3 rings. In the center are the core emotions, and then there's a second ring and then a third ring, if that makes any sense. We'll link to the feelings wheel in the show notes, or one that we use here in the show notes. But a big part of processing emotions is to get curious about them and what feelings came first. So the feelings wheel can be a good tool to help narrow down some specific feelings that led to bigger emotions. This is the end of the episode. It was a very short episode, but you better believe we're going to be coming back to this topic again and probably again, because like I said, emotions matter, and they actually matter a whole lot. And there's a whole lot more to be explored on the topic. But for now, I'm going to leave you with that today. So until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.